Alright. Alright. Let's do this shit. Again, so we're not talking about characters that I'm not personally considering tournament viable. Not in that they can't do well, but more like, why pick this if you're trying to do well, right? There's going to be some characters that I do not include on this list that will eventually fuck me or someone else up. That is a given. These are just rating the characters that I've seen a lot. And so this is 1 month in, right? We don't know everything, but we do know some things. And I feel like it's interesting to see how far we've come, and it's really interesting to see of the characters that are currently being played a lot, which ones are the best. Now, that means I don't know how good Mii Brawler is. I just don't fucking know. If I said I knew how good Mii Brawler was, I'd be lying. I would be lying. I don't know how good Wii Fit Trainer is, so I'm not going to rank them. I'm going to rank the characters that I feel like have some decent chance of being right about. Are you fine with that? Good. So we're going to start by taking away Wii Fit Trainer, because I have no fucking idea how good that character is. But we'll still rank most characters. Just not the really shitty ones or the ones I don't know at all. So just to start, what do I think about the balance in this game? This game is in many ways very balanced. The best characters in this game are not super impressive, at least not right now. You could probably win a major with a bunch of characters. What really matters most, as always, but especially in this game, is what characters you are good with. Early game, the characters that are going to do well in tournaments are the characters that are 1, easy, or 2, played by someone that has played a similar or the same character in a similar game, aka Brawl Smash 4. Almost exclusively, those characters will do the best. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. We should try to not read too much into how characters do then, obviously. But we can't also not read into it nothing, because, well, that'd be boring. Alright. Yeah, okay. New plan. This is the I don't know / bad zone. Characters either bad or I don't know. And they'll just be moved off camera, but on the final image, you'll see them. Okay, so let's get started for real. Yeah, this game, it's really, really balanced so far. I'm not certain that this game will be very, very diverse eventually. There hasn't been that many characters pushed to their final limit. And what generally happens with character rosters such as big as this, it's not that Mii Brawler or Samus, for example, is awful, or Cell is awful, that they can't win. It's why pick them? Why pick them? If, say, Joker or another character such as Peach becomes extremely over-centralizing, which means that you have to be able to play against this character or you would just die, that will quickly cut off a lot of characters. Currently, I don't think there's any character that is super hard that way, but it is very, very early, and generally, games are more diverse early game. Hopefully, with proper patching, that will not be the case, but I don't think we should be calling this the most balanced game yet when the game has been out for a month. But currently, it is very diverse. The differences between characters are not that big. And so I thought I'd start off with placing a character that is very, very good, but very, very flawed to make use of this 2-axis tier list. And here's my boy Krom. Krom is so faulty. He has so many flaws. Well, one giant flaw rather. But that flaw clearly puts him in the has faults area. Now, how bad is he? It's kind of hard to tell in my opinion because of that flaw. So generally, when you go towards characters with more flaws, they will have a higher variance of where they could be. So Krom could be all the way to top tier, depending on what characters are against him. Or he could be like mid-tier. Now this all depends on what the best characters are and how the meta is. If Krom is up against a character that has a counter and a move that sends him off stage well, he's fucking bad. Like, he's actually low tier in that matchup. But if he's not, if the character can't edgeguard that well, then his recovery is suddenly decent because they can't like beat his up reliably, and now he's the strongest sword fighter on stage. Like, he's such a polarizing character. I'm gonna go ahead though and say this character is probably low top tier slash high tier. Right now, I do not think there is any real need to play Krom for the matchups he does good in. I don't think he dominates Inkling, for example. If he did, then having a Krom secondary would be good. But he is still one of the absolute best sword characters. If you play him, you should definitely play him with a secondary that can cover his faults. Now, whether or not he will end up being the best sword character to use, in the end will depend on what characters are good against him and how counterpick heavy the meta is. Parrying is also a problem a lot of sword characters has, and it's something I'll get into eventually. Actually, let's do it fucking now. Let's fucking do it now. So next up, we have Lucina. And I think Lucina is literally the opposite of Krom. Lucina, I think, is also high tier, but she's very well rounded. She might be top tier, but I'm honestly leaning towards high tier right now. The problem is with Lucina is that she doesn't have any amazing moves outside of up B and side B. Her fair is great, but she can't really leverage it like Krom can leverage his fair. Her up tilt's great, but she can't really juggle characters like Ike can. You know, her specials are pretty good, but they're not as good as Cloud's are. Her recovery's good, but still not a top tier recovery like Palutena and Inkling. Now, who do I think is better between Lucina or Marth? I probably think Lucina is slightly better, but I'm going to put them on the same tier list because I honestly don't know that well. I haven't played against many Marths. See, the thing is, in this game, it's easier to space your character well compared to Smash 4 because you can dash and you can move better, but it's also like it's just easier to play Lucina, and ease of use is a huge factor in how good a character is. Okay, so Marth will be right next to it. He has slightly more flaws, but because if you get close to him, he can have a hard time getting you off with a significant move, but once he hits you hard, then like he's even stronger, right? So he's closer to the middle. Okay, let's put him here. He's still very solid, very, very solid. Now Roy, just to complete like the echoes, then I'll go more into the more specific sword fighters later. Now I think Roy is really, really, really good in some ways, but there's also not much reason to play him. I still think that most characters can edgeguard Cromwell, can probably also do it against Roy, and he still just has the problem essentially of like you can't space your attacks and do well, and that's actually a major problem for a character that is known for having good range. And although he kills slightly early if it gets a good hit, and he has a few specific confirms, I don't think it's all that significant in the end. So I'm gonna put him a tier, like just a cut below Krom. So next off, we're gonna put some characters that are not great, who I just don't think really fit the meta. Now I could be very wrong about these, obviously, but I'll put characters that are not like characters I don't expect to be relevant, but just have major flaws or don't have enough strengths. So we'll put King K. Rool, for example. Now this is a character a lot of people care about because it's the only way they got to Elite Smash. So people want him to be good, but I think King K. Rool was overhyped by many, myself included a bit. And I don't think he's absolute trash. That's why he's still on this list. But I think he's not a good character. Low mid-ish. He has a lot of flaws, but he also has some stupid strengths, such as his armor. So put him around here. I think people don't understand how bad Ganondorf's recovery is, but he can legitimately be really fucking scary if he does get hit. But I still think he's still gonna be around this tier. I'll put him slightly higher than King Rool though, because if you do get a hit, you can make it fucking hurt with Ganondorf. And some characters that have a hard time edgeguarding him, or just slightly harder, can actually just lose the punish game. I would say he's even more towards the fault. Like his recovery is worse than Krom's. No joke. Against the average character, his recovery is worse. Goodbye, Little Mike. You're not relevant, and I will not rank you. Rosalina and Luma, I think, are low tier, but I don't think they're useless or anything. They still have some tech to be found for sure. Jesus Christ, how many subs. But I feel like they just play the game way too slowly to be like actually very relevant. I don't really see why you would pick them either. It's like, why? Who's that? Okay, Ices. I think Ices will be very, very scary, but I sadly think Ices are too slow and don't have the range to make themselves scary in neutral. If they do get a grab, I think they'll be scary, but Nana AI doesn't seem very reliable. I feel like people could juggle and edge guard them well in this game. Now, grab these things are stupid, but grabs suck in this game. I don't think these things do that much for their neutral. They're a character with a lot of potential though, so keep that in mind. But they're probably a bit over Ganondorf. They're like kind of okay with good grabs, but like they just have nothing decent outside of like nothing good outside of grabs or like decent shit. We'll do another okay character. The pits. I will only rank regular pit because I don't give a shit about who's better and I don't know. So yeah, if I had to guess from what I know, I think Pit is a little bit better, tiny bit better because of his arrows. But yeah, I think Pit is like really well rounded, but like also not really good. But yeah, I think they're okay. They're still sword-ish characters. They might be a little bit higher than this, but they're like, to me, what they effectively are in this game is like the mid-tier character. The mid-tier character. Me Gunner, I think, is actually low-key good. They have a lot of weird moves. Side B is really good. Decent recovery with up B. I'm not completely sure on the me legality right now, if you can pick which one you want, but I think they're decent. They're probably the best Samus you can play out there, but I don't think the best Samus is all that good. So we're gonna put them like slightly above mid-tier. Pretty well-rounded, but still lacks a bit in like close quarters and a little bit in edge guarding. Me Sword Fighter is has some really scary tools. I think they could be good. People definitely overrate the confirm. I'm not sure if everyone that's played against me just like miss, but it doesn't seem to be a super true combo, and also it's kind of slow as a confirm, so I don't think people will be hit by it too much. So I think they're about the same level, maybe a little bit better. Bit more faults, I think, but some stronger like confirms to make up for it. Kirby, goodbye Kirby. You're relevant for the 1 second people were hype about World of Light until we realized it needed like a year more in development. Zelda, goodbye. No. Zelda's like around here if you really fucking care. I don't really fucking care. But I play a slowest character whose fair and back are actually like punishable and hit if you don't get the tipper. She doesn't even kill that early. Upper is pretty good. You can DI auto down throw. Down B's okay. Side B's bad Palutena, side B. Neutral B's whatever. Don't play her. Up B confirms are the only good thing she really has that stands out, in my opinion. I think Lucas is okay. I don't think Lucas is amazing though. He has a tether grab which hurts him because he's like, this is like a weird trend in this game. They have tether grabs. Like they give people tether grabs, but some of them have tether grabs but no combos, and some of them have tether grabs and insane combos, such as Ivysaur and Luigi with the insane combos, and Zirzu Zamas and Lucas, who get like nothing out of throws outside of kill throws. Lucas does have kill throws, but again, like it being a tether really hurts him in my opinion. At least he can recover a bit better than Ness, but I don't know. I don't really see the reason to play Ness right now. PK Freeze is pretty annoying. His abuse is a little bit better, but I think he's kind of bad Ness in this game. So let's rank Ness while we're at it. Ness has some really interesting stuff. Actually, just in general, he works well with the juggles. His PK Thunder can be really good to edge guard with. Down B you can use for a lot of things, for turnaround, for stalling, for absorbing stuff such as Snake's grenades and Nikita. But yeah, he's pretty well rounded, I would say, other than his recovery, so that kind of brings him back here. PK Fire is annoying. F Smash is strong. Down throw being a grab is strong. Actually, he might be, I think he will probably be around here. He has a good nair in this game too. Upper is good. Backer is good. F Smash really strong. I think you can do parry to F Smash on a couple things. Yeah, Ness and Lucas both have decent recoveries. Like, not good recoveries for sure, but I don't think it's as bad as people think it is, and they're still overall solid characters. As for Isabelle, and I guess we'll do Villager next, I think Isabelle is still worse than Villager. Villager's side B is such a good tool, and Villager's S Smash helps edgeguard a lot of characters that are hard to edgeguard in this game, such as Inkling. I don't know too much about the characters though. They're probably around here too, around here. I think Isabelle, like, they're well rounded because of recovery, decent moveset, but I feel like probably around here. And I think Villager is actually like a decent amount better. Obviously, I don't know these characters super well. Fishing Rod is like the only good thing she has really that I've noticed better than Villager. But I think Villager is actually like definitely the pick to go with as far as I know. Let me know if you guys think differently. All right, let's do Samus's. They're both kind of the same. They both have minor differences. They're not identical like Peach and Daisy, but yeah. Let's find Samus. Samus is a pretty well-rounded character overall, but nothing Samus has stands out to me as good. Or like great, rather. I can't think of a single thing other than the fact that they're good at juggling. They're good at juggling now. Once you do get them into the air. Up B out of shield is pretty good, but they have a terrible grab. They definitely struggle because you can't hit people in front of you well. Grab doesn't hit fast. They kind of have to resort to a really laggy down tilt or a shitty jab or an F tilt. That's basically their main thing. You could kind of just run at Samus. It's a real problem that Samus's missiles are so bad because she doesn't get good front coverage essentially. Game & Watch is going into the character of I don't fucking know. I have not seen anyone give a shit about Game & Watch, and neither do I. We'll have to keep him down here until someone wins Genesis with him, in which case he'll be top tier. Corrin is the worst sword character. She's not the worst character with a sword, but she's the worst sword character of the regular archetype. That does not mean she's bad. She's actually pretty well-rounded. But I feel like, why the fuck would you play Corrin? Basically no reason to. Why use her backer to make it more safe when you just have a safe backer with every other sword character? Why use her projectile when it's that slow? No one's gonna run into the bite. Why get hit by her Nair and take 5 when you could get hit by Ike's and take 20? Pin is the only reason. Now, she's still good because she is a sword character, mind you. And sword characters are good in this game. She has low lag on aerials, pretty good range. Why the fuck would you play Corrin in this game? Unless you just like feet or dragons that look like horses. Whatever floats your boat, guys. Duck Hunt is low-key pretty annoying to fight against. Has pretty good aerials now. However, still Duck Hunt. Still pretty slow. Mediocre. Around Samus tier for sure, in my opinion. Kind of struggles when you just rush him down because he doesn't have strong get-offing moves and struggles a bit to kill confirm. Actually, let me delete Bowser Jr. Press Mango F for Bowser Jr. Actually, you don't have to press shit because no one gives a shit about Bowser Jr. Seer Suit Samus is super underwhelming in this game, I think. Her up B combos don't kill. Her down tilt doesn't lead to shit. Her up tilt doesn't lead to shit. The fact that you can't drop shield quickly really hurts her auto shield game because you can't like drop shield to jab anymore. Her grabs don't lead to shit. Her up B almost never kills anymore out of combos. Like her aerials have like one frame where they hit the ground if you're standing in front of her, which is just sad. I don't really see why you play Seer Suit Samus, given that she feels so bad to play in my opinion. But she is still fast. She still does have combos when you get going. Down B is a good get off me tool or get out tool. And run, she has the fastest initial dash in the game. And run jab or run F tilt is still very strong. So I'll still place her in like high mid. Sheik is not worth it to play either. Don't play Sheik. Just play Squirtle instead. Sheik's just too weak. Like, if you want to play Sheik, play Pokemon Trainer. Play Squirtle, and then you switch to Ivy or Charizard to kill. You should not have to worry that hard about killing. And she does so low damage. My Squirtle gets the same shit, but he does his fair while still doing low damage, does 7 or 8 in full jump, I think, which is literally twice as much. And the fact that her fair is slightly faster does not actually matter much. She's not terrible. She still uses the game engine pretty well. She's very, very flawed in the killing department. You just don't bother. Don't bother. Next character you should not play. Don't play Mario. Mario's okay. Don't play him. Play Dr. Mario. And pick Mario if you really need to in characters where Doc gets skinned. He has some trouble killing actually, and his recovery is not great. But I think Dr. Mario is actually a sleeper character right now. I think he's significantly better than Mario, and he's just really strong. He just fucking hurts you. And his pills are way better as a neutral tool than Mario's fireballs. Probably put him up here. He's better than Mario for sure. His up B out of shield is actually ridiculous. Actually, fuck you. His up B is ridiculous. It's like frame 3 out of shield, which means that like almost no aerials outside of like stupid characters like Peach are safe against him on shield. But he has more faults, so we should put him further aside. But I don't think his recovery is that much worse than Mario's. Puff is okay in this game. She is actually a low-key sleeper because of rest and parrying into rest being really good. The hitbox is much bigger. She has good recovery. She's just well-rounded, but I think she eventually will get outranged and beaten by characters that are just faster. In Melee, she's the only character with a top-tier recovery. Rest kills way earlier than anything else. In this game, because she's so light, she doesn't actually only need to hit you twice and then win. Her like amount of neutral wins to win is actually not that low, especially if you compare them relatively to your opponent. But I still think Puff has a lot of potential just because you can edge guard every character. I know Smash 4 players would be like, why is Puff that high? Well, you can edge guard in this game and you can rest shit. If they go low, you go low with them. If they go high and land on stage, you rest them. But yeah, she's still super light, which really holds her back. Next character that has disappointed me tremendously, Meta Knight. I don't think anyone gives a shit about Meta Knight anymore. He does too low damage. He can't kill, but he's still okay, especially against characters he can edge guard. I'm gonna put him around here because he does low damage. He has bad reward essentially. His neutral game is also not fantastic. He just can't space people out like some other characters can. I think Bowser is around mid. He's really heavy still, but he's very fast. Sub B auto shield is good, and his side B auto shield is ridiculous. It's only 6 frame startup, and if you do short hop, and he's a 3 frame jump in this, it's like a like 9 frame grab out of shield, which means that you like it's faster than regular shield grabs and goes way further and kills. I think it's about here. He's actually pretty well rounded, but he's still a heavy. He gets kind of bullied by some characters once they get him into the air. He doesn't have a good downer. He basically has a downer and down B who do the same thing, which is not much against any decent player. Alright, let's rank another heavy. I think D3 is like okay. Has a lot of jumps, decent recovery, but once people get better, I think he'll fall a lot. But he's like decently well-rounded. I think he's about this tier. Yeah, Nair's good, up tilt's good, like jab and F tilt and everything's fine, but he doesn't hurt as much as he should unless you really fuck up and get F smashed. If he had like 1 or 2 aerials that were really good for edge guarding, I think he'd be a lot higher because you can't really go out there. But his aerials don't hurt as much as they should. Pac-Man seems okay. His aerials are kind of annoying. His recovery is good. Like, he can kind of fuck you if you try to juggle him. I think eventually, though, once people learn to fight him and once people learn to approach quickly, I think he'll just be a little bit too slow and a little bit too weak, more importantly. Like, he can't kill as well as he wants to, at least not without setup. So I think he's, like, about here, maybe. Like, kind of underwhelming, but not bad by any means. I think DK is low-key silly. His grabs, like run off cargo throw, actually just destroys people with bad recoveries. Kills at high %. Once people learn to edge guard, cargo throw, run off into down throw, and then just edge guarding them will be so fucking ridiculous. DK's problem is basically getting camped and being bad at landing and oh yeah, not having front facing hitboxes. But the thing is, in this game, you can just, when you get hit, you don't get turned around, so you can just keep using back air if he wants to. And his dash attack is so fast and like actually not that easy to punish at all. It's really really active. So unless you're actually shielding it, you're not usually gonna be able to whiff punish it well. Now he's not the strongest. I think he's like low top tier probably, and he's a little bit weird to work. But one of his biggest problems, right, landing is so much easier now with down B. You get like a fucking up smash out of down B. It's stupid. He's not super well rounded though because of the fact that he's still like a heavy that's a bit slower, and the fact that he his recovery is actually pretty exploitable by some characters. Some characters can't exploit it at all. They'll just like back for him twice and he'll like survive forever because he's a heavy, and then eventually he gets back. But I think he's like about okay, like about here in terms of how well-rounded he is. Just like a tad bit less well-rounded, but he's still like so survivable that still really good and really solid. Definitely the best heavy in my opinion. So I'll put them slightly higher just so you guys understand that they're like top tier. I'll get you a character that I thought was top tier that I no longer think is top tier, but still very good and almost top tier. Mewtwo. I think Mewtwo unfortunately suffers from the fact that he's a large hitbox and light. Basically, being a large hitbox in this game is almost more problematic than being light, because when you're light, well, yeah, you get more hits, but like when you're big in this game, so many characters have trouble hitting small characters on the ground with like a rising aerial. But every character can hit Mewtwo when he's just standing there. They can, like every Marth, every Krom can just do like rising aerial and it will instantly hit him. It just makes it a lot harder for him to play neutral. And he can't really do that well out of shield either. Yeah, he has grabs, but he doesn't get much grabs. And none of his grabs even set up a great juggle at 0%. So unless you're playing a character that Mewtwo can edge guard super well, which aren't actually as many as I thought, I think it's going to be a little bit hard. But he has some really stupid strength in how good Shadow Ball is and how early down B kills. So I still think he's going to be a super scary contender, and I think he could easily go higher. But I can understand why people don't like playing Mewtwo, even though I think he'll eventually rise and do well at tournaments. But right now, he's definitely not a character that people are picking up. All right, we're talking about the Spaceys. Who do I think is the best Spacey and why? Start out with Wolf. Wolf is, in my opinion, clearly the worst Spacey. He has really hard troubles both killing and edge guarding. And I think the other characters just don't. He also struggles from the fact that none of his aerials are actually really safe on shield unless you do a really late nair, which is not really that viable. His neutral B is one of, if not the best, no, actually it's not a contender for it, one of the best projectiles. You know, like, it's a very, very good solid projectile. But he doesn't get too much use out of Shine. His side B confirms kill him, and they're not as practical as, say, like Krom's Suicide Kill or Warrior's Bite. And yeah, he just really struggles with killing organically. Maybe pairing into down smash will be a bit better eventually, but he's just a character that's like, he's good, and he's gonna do like things if you get really, really good with him. But his edge guarding just really drags him down. If he could at least edge guard really well, it wouldn't matter that much if he couldn't get on stage kills. But right now he's kind of like, do I go off stage and risk dying at 0, or do I just spam F smash back here and down smash? None of which are actually that threatening to play around. So next up we have Falco Fox. I actually still think Falco is eventually likely to get better, but I also can see why people rate Fox the better one. I don't think either of them are actually as strong as people think. Some people are saying that Fox is top 5, which I think personally is kind of ridiculous. I think Fox has too many faults to be top tier, but we'll rate Falco. So Falco is really, really good. I probably overrated his neutral. He's not very oppressive, which I think is a good trait to have in this game, obviously. But I still think he's very, very good. And once people figure out how to play neutral with him, and people just really, really nail his combos, I think he's going to be super scary. So I'll put him around like Roy tier. So still slightly better than Falco. He's a bit more well-rounded as well. His recovery is slightly better than Fox's, in my opinion, because of the longer side B, and you can repeatedly side B. If you are being with the characters, you should not make it back all the time. Even though the up B has decent priority, I don't think it's super scary. That said, though, I still think they're high tier. Like, high tier, mid-high tier. You can't super accurately place characters in this game, but I don't think that's such a huge problem. The thing with Fox is that his game plan is really like very straightforward. He can't really grab you and do shit. He can't really like hit you with a fair and do too much. He can nair, he can up tilt, he can dash attack, he can up smash you. That's kind of it. He can't laser you really. He has Shine, but like, yeah, he's really, really simple. His recovery is very exploitable. Once you really, really learn how to edge guard him, which Smash 4 plays won't do for a long time, but I think eventually Fox will lose some of his hype. People really realize how exploitable the character is. I think Toon Link's the worst Link. I was kind of questioning if he was that bad, but yeah, Young Link's better. Not by huge amounts, but still a decent amount. I feel like he's like a slightly worse meat gunner in terms of zoning. A little bit better at killing, I think, than Young Link, but that might be placebo. I think Young Link is actually pretty slept on right now. The big problem is essentially that he can't fight as well against short characters as he can against tall characters. His boomerang is only like a decent projectile. It's really about bombs and arrows. I think arrows are not that good against characters that are tall, outside of anti-edge airing them sometimes. I still think he has a lot of potential though, so I'm actually going to place him around here. I think it will take some time before he really gets going, but actually he's more around here. He still has some trouble killing, but he's still very, very good. He can edge guard well with bombs. Fair is a good edge guarding tool as well. Down tilt's a decent confirm. The only problem is really that he has a tether grab and that he isn't amazing at other things, really. Now, I think regular Link is really, really strong. Literally, he has stupid high weight for his character archetype. His boomerang's fine, his arrows are fine. A lot of his toolset is nothing more than fine, honestly. But his up smash, his fair, his downer, his nair, his bombs are all actually kind of ridiculous. The fact that he has a 6-frame grab, I believe, as well, along with his nair, really makes him scary to play around. He's still kind of one note, and I think parrying will be really good against him when he's in the air. And I think people can play a lot better around bombs, but I think he is super well-rounded, all things considered. Also, people can edge guard him better, but he does have bomb edge guards, so I mean bomb recovery, so he can also live to really high percents. Right now, I'm really struggling between placing him top or high. Personally, I think he might actually be top tier, but like very, very low top tier. However, I want to see a bit more. So for now, I think he's going to be high tier, but he's actually super well rounded. The only real problem is that he can't get out camped. I think his bombs are good, but on non-platform stages he can have some trouble pulling them, and they don't do instant damage. So I think he's like top high tier. I think Lucario is extremely overrated. Extremely overrated. I don't think any of his neutral is at all scary. His Aura Sphere sucks compared to Mewtwo. It's so fucking laggy. And projectiles are already worse. He gets a little bit scary with Rage, but I don't think his recovery is all that great, honestly, once people learn to edge guard it. I don't think he will really be living that long. I think people, like the good characters in this game, are just way better killing than the best characters in 4. Because you can organically kill through edge guards, through juggles, through parrying into confirms, and stuff like that. So I think he'll be around here with just like a lot of flaws. Still really mobile, but he doesn't really have a scary tool in neutral. Doesn't really have that many combos. He has some strengths, but he doesn't do a lot of damage at low percent. Yeah, I think he's really overrated. But I also haven't played against an amazing Lucario. I could be wrong. Let's do Robin. Robin is not a character I know a lot about. I'm not ranking him. Sorry. Incineroar. Incineroar's a bad character. I overrated Incineroar. He's too slow. He's not scary enough. But he's not awful either. He still has top tier aerials. He just needed one more aerial that he can really like throw out there to keep the opponent pressured, I think. And he would have been so much better. I think he's around here, maybe there, but like about here. I think Ridley is actually low-key slept on. I've said this during my streams, but he's still not amazing, but I think he's better than like D3 and shit. I think he's about like Bowser tier. His down tilt's amazing, his F tilt's amazing, his jab's okay, his dash attack's fine. He's like actually good Ganondorf in many ways. His side B like grabs him just like Ganondorf. F smash is like really strong. Down smash covers a lot. Up smash is actually a viable like anti-air tool. Upper is okay. He has decent jumps. His nair is really good. Fair and back are only serviceable though, but I still think he's one of the large characters that can actually make an impact. Simon, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for the subs. Jesus Christ. 9K baby. We can do it. We can survive the bleed. I guess we'll do Luigi because we've done all the other Marios. I think Luigi is like the ICs of this game. Like 100%. He does way too much fucking damage. A fucking down throw. And his grab is okay, but then like parrying to up B and just up B in general is just fucking strong. But his recovery is worse. I think once people learn to optimize his combos, and if he can follow TI, I think it will be super strong. But he's a big unknown. He has a lot of his recovery is kind of shit. He's just kind of slow in general. He's not very threatening outside of grab. But the grab is so threatening that like you only need one stock. If you get one stock to wobble, you have such a massive advantage. It's a third. It's a fucking third of the match. He's definitely one of the most flawed characters though. Falcon is bad. Don't play Falcon. Why play Falcon? Just play melee if you want to play Falcon. He still fits relatively well in this engine. But like, just don't, bro. Doesn't have that many great combos. Down throw, downer to knee is like an okay confirm, but like, why are you getting hit by down air? It's not fast. Singlet in air is like his only really good tool. He's not very threatening in neutral. And grabs being a lot worse in general, while he still doesn't have good, relative to the good combo characters and down throw combos, is really sad. Let's do Ryu and Ken. I think Ryu and Ken are pretty slept on, but I talked a bit with I can't play called Kizen, and he says he thinks Ryu is significantly worse than Ken, and I'm gonna trust him on that. Ryu seems just a bit too slow, but I think they're both like mid to high mid. This has some flaws, but I could see them being like around here, so that's why I'm gonna place them. Still not the best. Maybe Ken is not worth the effort, but I think they're relatively like, they didn't seem to have that many flaws outside of not being able to like jump up and hit characters super well. But they still have decent aerials, honestly. Like, they have a lot of tech. Definitely a character to keep looking out for. And Ken actually has like some better neutral, and like especially ground speed really matters since you're not going to be in the air a lot. Everyone's saying, oh, you're sleeping on this character. You know why I'm sleeping on this character? Because you guys don't win shit with them. Who's winning with Falcon? Who's winning with Villager? If I'm sleeping on them, it's because no one's winning with them. Do it. I'm not saying I can't be wrong. This is just my opinion. This is what I've seen. Bayo's bad. Don't play Bayo. It's telling that everyone dropped Bayo. Don't play Bayo. She ain't worth it. She's like Sheik. She can't kill. Don't play Bayo. Not worth the effort unless you played a Smash 4 Bayo and already know her shit. And if you play Smash 4 Bayo, you did it because she was top tier. Don't fucking lie to yourself, and you're gonna pick a different character because you're a top tier. W word. Problem with Cloud. So I'm gonna list this problem. Problem with Cloud, his recovery is mediocre. It's not very predictable though, which is good. He does not have that great killing options. It's really down to backer and limit stuff. For the most part. F smash pretty good if you can read something. Fair can spike. I think Cloud is honestly the most well-rounded while still being top tier swordsman. So I think he is in a tier above Lucina and Marth. And while he still has a few more problems than them, I would say, I think he's top tier. Limit is just a great mechanic. And I think I initially thought it was really bad, but the fact that it gives you a speed boost and you now have to time it, like you want to hit limit at a specific point and then keep it for 15 seconds and then do your shit. It's really, really interesting to me. I think people will keep getting better with Cloud because he's a pretty interesting character to play with compared to how easy Lucina and Martha are to play, relatively speaking, of course. He's not extremely well-rounded because of his recovery. However, he is a lot more diverse than and dynamic compared to, say, Marth. Like, Marth is really bad if you get under him, right? Well, Cloud is downer. If you can't edge guard a character with Krom or Marth, what do? You just kind of like sit there and do nothing. Maybe try to go for a fair. Cloud just limit charges, baby. He just fucking limit charges. So I think he's really, really solid. I'll put him probably around here. I don't think he's the best character in the game. He does still have recovery problems, and that will hurt him. Some of his, like the fact that Nair is really hard to hit really hurts his out of shield presence, and like just in general, like jumping forward and hitting a button present. Like the neutral is kind of hard to play. Down tilt's amazing though. Side B is great, although not as good as the other sword characters. Side B. Up B out of shield is only 7 frames. Really, really good. Great range. Anti-airs. Yeah, I think he's just really solid. He has a projectile. Backer's like definitely one of the best sword character moves in the game. Upper is like, while not really while it doesn't have the great priority of like Marth up air, it's really, really active, which can be better sometimes depending on which character he's facing, obviously. But yeah, not many characters have like amazing tools to deal with up airs in general. Like they don't have great downers, say Falco does in melee. So the fact that it doesn't beat everything literally all the time can usually mean less than the fact that it's active. Cloud might be top tier. He might also be high tier. It's honestly really hard for me to tell. It's really, really hard for me to tell. I might play him too. He's one of the characters I find the most fun. He's like a really interesting sword character. We're gonna make him larger. He's a bit of a question mark. We'll see, honestly. But I think he's really good. He's just kind of, he takes a lot more effort to play. I feel like if Zero played Cloud in 4, he would be doing way better with him. It's just gonna take a while before he does super well. I don't think Zero doing well, like losing to 2 Peaches, who, spoilers, is one of the best characters in the game, means that Cloud is bad. Well, he didn't main Cloud. I've never really seen Cloud as a character that transferred over that well to, honestly. One of the problems is that you need to dash dance a lot with Cloud, I think. And I don't see Zero being super proficient with that yet. Like, dash dance to down tilt is fucking amazing. It's so insane. It anti-hits almost everything. And yeah, Zero didn't practice for that long. I don't think he'll drop Cloud. Alright, I'm gonna go BRB for a while. I think Diddy is unfortunately not really worth playing in this game, but also good still, if that makes sense. In matchups where he can get kills, he's actually really, really fucking scary. And attack canceling actually helps him out a lot. Like, probably the most outside of maybe Mega Man. Just because, like, it now means you can pick up and throw a banana, sorry, from, like, it just lying around. I feel like he's kind of around Zero Suit, personally, where they both just feel bad to play. It's like the feel bad corner right here. It's not that they're terrible or anything. It's just like, come on, bro. Just let Diddy kill with anything that's not like an offstage edge guard or a banana to F smash. Overall, a decent character still. Ledge trapping not being as big of a deal also nerfs him. Alright, so another character a lot of people think is amazing. I'm rating him slightly higher now. I don't think he's mid tier, because I think that's Pit, but I still think he needs a lot more work. I think he's like about Wolf tier, the tier between like mid and high tier. He's definitely not well rounded, but he's kind of like Wolf in a way where he has like major strengths in his damage output, but I really feel like he still needs to be a lot faster if he wants to keep up eventually. So I would say probably here, maybe a little bit lower. I think probably around here-ish, actually. I'm gonna put him lower because I love trading these Smash 4 players that love their characters so much. Maybe I'll get a beef star with the bus or Myron or whatever the fuck. Get some new subs out of that. Okay, so let's talk about a really important part about this tier list. This tier list is a bit more forward than most tier lists. I try to predict the meta. That's generally what I try to do. Like, I don't really like just saying like, oh, these characters are doing well right now. Honestly, right now, this character that everyone's hyping up is not doing very well. And I think that's largely due to Inkling needing to get kills from edge guarding, and people aren't that great at edge guarding yet for obvious reasons. We talked a lot about that. However, I still think they'll be good eventually, but I think it will take a bit more time. There's also no person has Inkling experience, right? Like, you can't have played Inkling in a previous game. I actually think Armada will be mad strong with this character eventually. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he could play the character because I think he can really put in work. Roller, although not broken, is really, really fucking good when it hits. Like, when it hits, oh, it just does so much damage and kills some characters like 80. Like, if I get hit by down as Roller with Squirtle at 80, I'm dead. I'm fucking dead, baby. Inkling's mad well-rounded. Just the big problem is really, like, outside of Roller, there's no like super defining strength. We'll have to see how they do. I think Mega Man will likely eventually be top tier, but will start off for a long time being like mid to high and then eventually top tier, if mechanics stay as they are right now. Honestly, the infinite is always going to be a threat. He has a fucking infinite. And just in general, it can use attack canceling well. The infinite isn't super practical to set up, but I think eventually you might be able to see it if it doesn't get nerfed. I think Mega Man won't be the best, but I think he might be a contender if the infinite is super practical to set up. I feel like all you really need is a Z-drop. So that's basically what it's gonna be. You need to hit them with a neutral A, or like a jab, I guess, when the pellet is by the floor, and then you get an infinite. And yeah, it's not super easy to hit. It's probably gonna take some while before people learn to get it consistently. But you know what? It's a fucking touch of death. The threat of it alone will make people play really scared around it. If it can be practical, I think he might be like an entire tier above. We'll have to see if it's viable. I think it might be, honestly, but at the very least it's damaged, and Mega Man does have a lot of attack. It really depends. Wait. How highly do I rank him, considering we have not seen the potential at all, right? Like, I could place him top tier, I could place him high. I'm not really sure personally, but since I haven't seen enough to confirm it, I think I will put him high tier right now. He does still struggle in some close quarter combat. He is very flexible though. I think he can be edge guarding well, but in reality, like, there's not too much reason to pick such a complicated character that might or might not be a top tier when you could just pick like some character that is clearly top tier. So I think he's around here, like potential for sure, but we'll have to see. I think he's probably, if the infinite is not too practical, probably going to be about high tier, even though some people might claim him to be top tier. I think Sonic is a big question mark. I actually don't know much about Sonic. I still think his archetype just works well. Like, fast dash speeds just works so fucking well in a game where you can dash into shit. His F smash is amazing. He can edge guard well. Side B is still a potent tool. I think he'll probably be low high tier, maybe in this tier in between, like Wolf. He's actually pretty well rounded considering his recovery and everything. He just needs a bit more oomph. Maybe if you can find really good shit with side B, maybe if you can find some really good strings and combos. Overall though, he's like bottom of high tier, I would say. I already know people are going to be upset with some of these placements, claiming that I'm overreacting to recent results. So let's do Greninja. So this is my pick that will go very against the results. So I already know that some of the other results people are going to say, well, that's only because they did good against you or good in tournament. I Study did not do very well against me in friendlies. Well, he still like took games obviously, but he should not be losing majority to me. He got like 17th, I think, in the tournament while being 3rd seed, I believe. So yeah, he definitely underperformed, and it happens, you know. But I still think this character is really fucking good. I just think that Studying is not completely like playing him correctly yet, and that's hard because I think this character actually takes a lot of skill to play, and he actually effectively plays very differently in this game than he does in 4. Because you actually edge guard in this game, and that's his biggest strength. He has amazing edge guards. Up B can, you know, water gun people. Counter insta kills if you hit the spike, and the spike is consistent now. Back air, fair, all great tools. Downer can also be used well. Water shuriken obviously. Side B, like, he just has so many fucking good edge guard tools. And Ice Studying was sadly defaulting to charging shuriken on stage for the majority of our matches, and I think that's what really hurt him. Down tilt's also a great kill confirm, combo confirm. Like, you can't react to it on shield, you have to actually read that he's doing it, and running sliding down tilt covers a lot of ground. Up smash is a good kill option now, great confirming of like air dodge reads. You can obviously tech the upper tech trap, but he has good tech chases from it now. Yeah, he's just a really solid character. The only real problem with Greninja is that you have to really space his fair for it to be safe. His downer is like not great of an anti-juggle tool, and that his grab is bad. Like, his grab is slow and doesn't get too much off it. That's like honestly the big thing. But I think he's really fast, he has great jumps, really good at juggling, great edge guarding. I think it will be like a low high tier threat, high tier-ish threat, just well-rounded, but not like, definitely not flawless, but I would still put him like here just because of his great recovery, good solid neutral. I think he's really good. Yeah, we'll still have to see though. I think Greninja is definitely very underdeveloped though. I'm looking forward to maybe playing this character a bit myself too, to get a better understanding of him. Okay, so let's do someone that I thought was top tier AF, and now I think is high tier-ish, but still very good. Richter and Simon. I actually think the Richter and Simon are among the hardest characters to actually utilize fully. Now, a lot of people that only play Elite Smash will be like, what? But they only throw side B. Well, the thing is, if you only throw side B, you're not that scary, and you need to, aiming their aerials is by far the hardest character space with. Like, it's so hard to use, like tipper fair, tipper back air. You have to adjust, you have to microspace. If you let people get in on you, you're definitely vulnerable as fuck. But yeah, I think they could be really good, and it's still a great counterpick character. We'll have to see just how good they are, but I still think they're very strong, and people are kind of underrating them as of right now. The biggest problem is no good downer and bad recovery, I would say. So once you get under them, they can really struggle. But they get so many free wins that like I have trouble not putting them in at least high tier. Like against all slow characters and tall characters, it's just like, you're done. Yeah, done. Okay, Yoshi. I think, man, I think Yoshi's top tier, man. But I think Yoshi is one of the characters that will eventually not effectively be top tier. Maybe he will never get the like people playing him so that he can show he's top tier. But I think he's top tier as fuck, man. But eventually, like long down the road, I think he'll get worse once people really perfect this game. But his nair is amazing, his fair is amazing, his backer is amazing, his upper is unbelievable, his downer does like 30% answers up for a juggle, his F tilt is launches and combos into everything, and you can do his sliding, his jabs, no recovery whatsoever for some reason. Down B is an actual threat now, both on stage and coming down. His fair is like the best edge guarding tool in the entire game. You can just fucking spike people, and even if you don't spike them, you send them off and they might die from that. Eggs are amazing. You can use the bounds to really mix up how they function, and they're just so plus if you throw them slowly. And so many characters have trouble dealing with both his airspeed and his ground speed combined. Such a well-rounded character, and so easy to play too, but with still so many like finer interaction you can probably like abuse even more. I think he's probably gonna be top tier, but we'll have to see because no one's playing him. So he's like a big maybe right now. So I'm putting him like around here because he is still really well rounded. His double jump armor is also really good in this game. Lets him get out of combos for free. I'm not so sure if I don't think he's really a contender for the best character in the game necessarily, but I do think he's really fucking scary. And his nair is just one of the best out of shield options in the entire game. For Palutena, I think she's actually top tier or close to it. But the problem with Palutena is really that she can't really kill super well. Backer will kill fine, up air will kill fine, but you have a bit more trouble killing than some of the other great characters, and I think she's really weak towards parrying actually. But she can also use parrying well, so it's like, we'll have to see. I really do think how good she will become depends a lot on how good parrying is. Basically, when she jumps down, she has really safe aerials, but she doesn't really have a good ground tool to mix up. So when you're seeing Palutena come down, you can kind of just like try to parry the fair, and if she lands, she doesn't really have anything else to mix up with. She doesn't have like a great, like you can use nair, but it's not going to hit people, and even if it doesn't get the last hit, then it doesn't lead to anything. Her ground moves, I think, will hold her back in the end. Dash attack's amazing, but it is only dash attack that is amazing. She also kind of struggles with being bullied a bit because she doesn't have a like great out of shield game. Her ground moves again suck. Or not suck, but they're very underwhelming compared to the rest of this tier. But I think her great recovery, her flexibility with side B, with neutral B, with down B, just keeps her like, she just kind of destroys characters that are big with nair, and then she, with her dynamic tool set, manages to like keep up with almost everyone, even in the top tiers. But yeah, I think it's a character that I'm considering playing, but I think she's like, I kind of just hate nairing people, I'll be honest. Like, you just nair them, and then you nair them some more, and then you nair them some more, and now the combo's halfway done, and then you nair them, like, it just takes forever. But I think parrying into nair will be a really good, like, low percent combo starter. It's just really a matter of how to get the nair, which is not as easy as you think. But yeah, I think she's, like, really well-rounded, but as well, like, this is, honestly, a lot of people might disagree with, like, why are you placing every top tier in the well-rounded? Well, it's because most of the top tiers are top tiers because they are well-rounded. They don't have that many exploitable flaws. Once you go down here, you instantly start to see all the exploitable flaws, with the exception of like these three characters, obviously. These characters are almost flawless. It's just that it's hard. You have to weigh their peak strengths against each other, if you get what I'm saying. Let's do Shulk before you do the last sword character, Ike. So Shulk, I think he has some potential. I think people generally overrate Shulk. They're like, but he has 6 characters in one. No. In reality, you have 3 dead-ass obvious stances, Shield, Slash, and Buster, that all kind of are like, when your opponent is in, or is it Smash? Yeah, but like the killing one is just like, oh, avoid his strong moves. Shield is like, run away from him, he's slow. And Buster's like, if he hits you with down tilt or nair, he's gonna combo you. Not any more complicated than Cloud once you really get down to game plan wise. In execution, yeah, you kind of have to tinker around a bit more. But I don't think he's that, like, I don't think his potential is as high and as undiscovered as people currently acting. I might be wrong though. And his far range does destroy some characters. I just feel like him lacking that great slide B that say Marth or Krom has, as well as not having a combo throw outside of specific jump setups, really hurts him. And his recovery is pretty bad too, especially if he doesn't have jump available. We'll have to see, but I think Shulk will be a scary character, but I think he's like about this tier, like low high tier personally, like in the middle of like having flaws and not having flaws, kind of like an okay character. The worst part is when you win with Shulk, you get to see what he really looks like under all the makeup. I admit that I don't know everything about Shulk, and I'm sure there's like some stance shit that I don't know about, but I think in reality the only stances you really have to look out for are jump and speed. They are the only really hard to use stances in my opinion. The other ones have kind of, yeah, you kind of get what to do right away, even as long as you learn like 4 setups with each stance. It's not too bad. Alright, so Ike. Ike is a character a lot of people are placing in top tier. See, here's what really matters. When you're placing Ike, what you're really placing is how much do you value being easy to play. Because lordy lord, Ike is fucking easy to play. Holy moly, this character's easy to play. He beat his Nair plays himself. Like, what? I think Ike's biggest problem compared to all the other top tiers is that his edge guarding isn't great. However, he does have some really good tools to edge guard still with fair and nair and upper if they go higher, and like his neutral B is still pretty good. You can still edge guard to some degree. It's just kind of, his airs is just really laggy. Definitely a character to look out for. Now, I think he will eventually end up being in this tier, mainly because I don't think his ground moves are that spectacular. He doesn't have the side B that Krom has, and I think parrying will be very strong against him. So I think he will eventually fall down further. But right now, I feel like he's just on the border of being top tier, with a few too many flaws and a little bit of an explodable recovery. Still really, really, really good and really fucking easy, and he's good to play. Like, definitely a newbie character and a pro character. Jab and down tilt are definitely not bad, but they're not nearly as good as compared to like Krom F tilt, Krom jab, Krom side B, you know. So he doesn't have, like, he has a better recovery than Krom, so that's why he's not like all the way to the corner, and he still has good range, you know. Like, he's not bad at all. But I think Ike will start out being top tier as fuck and then eventually go down. Rob. I think Rob has some really cool shit. He also has some attack canceling like C-drop shit with his gyro. Great recovery. The only problem is that he gets swarmed. If he gets too close, like if people get too close to him, it can be hard for him to get them off him. And he doesn't have the greatest kill setups, but up smash still kills pretty early, down smash side B kills pretty early. I think he'll eventually be around here. Most people master him. Maybe here. He has some crazy shit somewhere around here. I'm really not sure though. I haven't seen too much raw play, but I think he's also a character where you can just edge guard super well. Has nothing to fear because of his up B. Really hard to edge guard. Good fast down tilt, decent throws. Like, just very solid character. So about here is where I would place him. Actually, a bit too tall, so I'm gonna place him here. Opposite me too. He's also heavy. He's just hard to kill. I think Wario is fucking super unga bunga, while also being super legit. Like, he's the Bardock of this game. If Yoshi isn't really straightforward while also having depth, extremely fucking scary late game because he has fart, like combos from everything. You can parry to fart. Like, I think Wario is an easy top tier in my opinion. He only really struggles against swords, but I don't think the swords are going to be the tippy top tiers. Outside of maybe Cloud, who in my opinion is kind of on the border. So I think that having a bad sword matchup is not as bad as some people think it is, especially with parrying. Like if you parry shit with Wario and you do it into Nair and then you get 50%, now you're under, like you do Nair and you upper, and now you're under a sword character. And everyone knows that sword characters, they bad when they're above their opponent. Yeah, and you can suicide kill with Bite. Downer is an amazing edge guard. Gluttony is actually one of the few characters that players that actually consistently try to edge guard me. I could tell that he was still new at it, but I really respect him for trying. And I think eventually Warriors are gonna fucking destroy people off stage. So yeah, I think he's top tier. He's still closer to here, I would say, because he does lack some of the range and he doesn't have the fastest ground speed or the best regular kill options. But he still has decent kill options. Like it's just bad for a top tier. Bad range for a top tier and stuff like that. All this shit is super safe though. Bite's an amazing mix-up. Combo throws at low percent. Upper is super safe. Bike's great recovery tool. He just kind of has it all, and his Nair is like the best Nair in the game, barring maybe Ike. Okay, Snake time. What do you guys think I'll play Snake? Give me your honest answer. Where do you think I'll play Snake? Kind of want to do this so we can we can start a Salem thing again. And I can get more subs. We're gonna have years of research too. Ally will cry. Like I kind of want to do that. When I went to the tournament, I had like 2 people say that they play Snake because of me. Sadly, none of them made bracket, so I guess easy taking out the competition easily. Let's go, baby. I think he's mid tier. I think he's high mid tier. He has some really stupid strengths. Like Nikita destroys like half the cast off stage. The thing is, he doesn't have the best way of getting them off stage unless you back throw them by the edge. And I don't think Snake should be getting back throws. Yeah, I think he has too many awful matchups, and I think they'll only get worse. The bad matchups will only get worse as time goes on. Well, I think he does have a lot of good, cool tech. Like attack canceling really helps him out. The down throw stuff that was found after my previous video. Some of that stuff really helps him out. I think he's still a really big threat, especially if you have a secondary. He's kind of up there with Krom, I think, if you have a really good secondary to cover his bad matchups. He's also a character that's hard to play. So I feel like he could go lower, it could go higher with time. It's just a matchup you're gonna have to learn, honestly. But I think with a lot of the best characters and a lot of the characters in high tier, it's going to be really rough for Snake, while he's going to destroy the low tiers. But I think that will be less relevant as time goes on. So yeah, Snake Suko, but not Suko as much as I previously thought. Alright, so let's rank Pikachu and Pichu. I think both of them are top tier, most likely. But I think Pichu's better than Pikachu. So we're going to have to place them like slightly above each other. No, I actually think both of them have quite a lot of faults. The reason is not because of the recovery. It's mostly just because Pichu dies really fucking early and none of them had great range. Neither of them, rather. So I think Pikachu probably going to end up high tier or top tier. I think we'll place them in top tier right now because I feel like high tier is a bit more crowded. I might separate the characters even further, like add someone into a tier above the other ones. Yeah, we'll spread out the top tiers in a bit because right now I think DK has too few flaws. Yeah, Pikachu is definitely the less flawed of them, and they both have good recoveries. Pichu's neutral B is so fucking good. Like, if you full jump neutral B, you're basically inside the Thunder Jolt the entire time. It's just so hard to deal with. And Pichu dies really fucking early, but it's great at edge cutting, downer spikes. It's invincible, I heard. I don't think Thunder's that big of a deal, but F-tilt's amazing with Pichu. I think, depending on how important weight is, I think she's likely to be better than Pikachu. I feel like both of them could be both high or low tier. I mean high tier. I haven't watched enough Pikachu play it, to be honest. Both of them just have really high ceiling. The good recoveries also matter a lot because I think a lot of these characters have great edge guarding. So like Pichu will be able to edge guard, like say Richter, Mega Man, Fox, Roy, Luigi, like those characters really well. Pikachu's only real problems are range and living like dying early to strong moves, like not edge cards. So here are my 2 most likely to main characters, and I want to be very clear. This tier list is not for today. This tier list is not for today's meta. This is what I think will eventually be the case if this patch continues to stay on. We will rank all the characters first, but again, this is not how people will see these characters right now. Charizard. We'll start by ranking Charizard. If Charizard was his own character, this is where he'd be. Now I feel like Charizard is like, yeah, he's about here. I don't think he's definitely worse than Ganondorf. If you play him by himself, he has no good aerials for neutral. His fair and back air, while decent, have insane lag on them. Like Nair doesn't hit as well as it used to. Fire Breath is okay. That's honestly, if he didn't have Fire Breath, he would have no aerial game whatsoever. Flare Blitz is like good every now and then. I honestly suck at using it still. The only real good things Charizard has is his inherent properties, the weight, his dash speed, and the fact that he has 2 jumps. Although his recovery is still very exploitable if you go too low, and the fact that his up smash is really fucking fast. His up smash is 6 frames and does 20 damage and sets off for juggles. Now, this is Charizard alone. He's still better than some of these characters, but I think Charizard by himself is really fucking bad. No, Nair is worse than Smash 4. Much worse. Yeah, Charizard can also only combo from back throw. He can't, down throw doesn't actually combo on most ranges because you can just DI away. So let's rank Ivy. I think Ivy, people are rating him a bit because people don't know how to perfectly play around his kill confirms yet. Ivy is by far the best solo character. If you only play Ivysaur, he's much better than any of the other ones. But solo, I don't think Ivysaur will be that impressive eventually. Simply because Ivysaur still lacks some in killing. Still is pretty slow. And against the high mobility characters that the top tier has a lot of, it might be really hard. So Ivysaur, I think, probably around here. Ivysaur's easier to play by itself than Young Link, for sure. And that really helps him. He also has better kill confirms than Young Link. It's probably around here, which is by far the best. Now, Squirtle is an amazing character that I think is really slept on because people can't utilize him yet. He is the best combo character that just like gets in and does shit except for Peach. His side B is good. All of his like F tilt is actually amazing. I just started using it still. It's safe on shield, it combos, it confirms. It's just amazing. It's invincible. He's good at gimping. But the thing is, you literally cannot play Squirtle alone because he can only kill at like 150 with back throw if they're by the edge, or F smash, or up smash, or down smash. He has no other good viable kill options outside of maybe up B off the top, which is like obviously a huge risk. So I think he's like, yeah, he's like here because he can't kill. He just won't kill, and the smashes are too slow to like parry into as well. If he had one more kill option, he'd be like up here. It's just like you have to kill your opponent to get on the stocks. What does that make Pokemon Trainer? Again, this is a tier list that is for the future. This is not a tier list of who is the easiest character to pick up right today and use and win with. Pokemon Trainer is, in my opinion, fucking abysmal early meta. You have to learn 3 characters who are all pretty complicated too. Even Charizard that is bad, it's actually pretty hard to play because you have to play so wonky to get around his bad shit. Ivysaur, while with an easy game plan, requires a lot of precision to use up B and side B and back air and downer and upper like properly. Squirtle is an insanely hard character to play well. You have no range, but you have great frame data. He's not even that fast, but he's mobile. He can weave in and out very precisely. I think we just keep doing better as people get better with him. And here's the thing. Remember how I said Squirtle would be up here? Like, would be up here if he had a kill option? Well, it turns out Ivysaur and Charizard could kill. And now you add the fact that both Squirtle and Ivysaur have completely different toolkits. It makes them extremely well-rounded. Now, if Charizard was even slightly better this character would be the best character in the game. It would still be not winning tournaments early because you have to learn 3 characters, far harder than learning any individual character in this game. Because even though some characters have some depth, like Peach, Ken, Shulk, it does not compare to learning 3 completely different characters that are 3 different archetypes. It's not fucking, oh, my sword character is slightly faster. Oh, my sword character now combos down throw into F smash. It's 3 different characters. You have to keep swapping like this. You have to learn every matchup 3 times, and you have to learn them at every percent. As it is right now, I think Pokemon Trainer is like here, like don't pick Pokemon Trainer really territory. If I have to predict who the best character is, I think Pokemon Trainer is right up there for being the best. Now, does that mean I will main Pokemon Trainer? No, I have to play Melee. I might not be able to practice this game enough to where I can get good experience in every matchup with every good character. Like, I don't have a good Inkling, Palutena, Cloud, you know, like, and such in my backyard like some of the other top players who live in Florida or SoCal do. So I can't spend the time of just decide, like, you know, I have to learn every matchup like that. And no one else plays Pokemon Trainer too, which means I can't steal tech from other people, at least not yet. So it does not mean that I will play Pokemon Trainer. But I think, honestly, I think Pokemon Trainer is the most well-rounded character in this entire game, because they have no bad matchups, no bad stages. And that fact alone, added with the fact that once you actually do master every character in every matchup, it doesn't matter if the Peach matchup is bad for Squirtle. He needs to know how to play the matchup well, because if you don't, you get combo to 60. It doesn't matter if the Charizard Peach matchup is bad, because if I get one up smash, you're dead, and now Squirtle's in again. Effectively, I think Pokemon Trainer will be almost the best character in the game, if you can find enough time to practice every matchup 3 times. And I don't know if I can do it. I probably won't be able to do it. That's not to say I'm dropping it, but I don't think a player that doesn't live in a good region can really bring out Pokemon's potential. That's my honest opinion. Now, the next character is the character that I'm most interested in maining right now, and it is in my opinion, the front runner for best character in the game. I previously had Inkling, but honestly, the more I think about it, Peach breaks so many rules. She fucking ignores rules that this game has set. So, not everyone knows this, right? Full jump aerials, they do more damage. 20% more damage, I think. Now, this matters for killing, this matters for shield stun. Well, if you full jump and float, even at ground height, you get that bonus. And so, you can't do shit against her. Peach is an abnormal, like, exception to the rule. The rule of characters that currently do well, are characters that are easy to play, like generally, because it's early meta. Now, she does still qualify some for the rule, because you could kind of play her like you play in Smash 4. But I feel like she abuses the mechanics of this game incredibly well. The lower landing lag means that all of her areas are safe on shield, which is what? Most characters, because of the bad dash dancing, like that you can only Foxtrot, can't do like a very precise dash back and then dash back right in with an attack. While Peach can just dash, float, back here, perfectly spaced. Now, this advantage is not an advantage that will always be noticeable very early. But even without those things, even without perfect turnip usage, even without Peach players knowing how to edge guard, and trust me, if not me, someone else will soon show you guys how much you can edge guard with this character. She has amazing edge guards, and it will be one of her main ways to kill eventually. She is still doing great. That's the crazy thing. Her onstage game is just good enough to like win with. And Peaches are still not doing the thing that I criticized Armada for doing all along. Their turnips are broken. And yet in between stocks, what do you see Peach players do? They pull one turnip, and what do? They dash dance. And then they don't do anything else. Peach has a 12% chance of not pulling a regular turnip, I believe, in this game. That is crazy high. 12%, over 1 in 10 will be a Winky, a Dot Phase, a Stitch Phase, a Bomb, a Saturn. And all of those are really fucking good. Winky, yeah, not too great, but still much better than a regular turnip. Dodge Phase and Stitches are crazy. Saturn is unbelievably broken. Like, instant shield break against a character they can throw out moves while holding an item. Yeah, it's pretty fucking broken. And yeah, she doesn't get a 0% kill off it, but she takes Saturn, throws it, shield breaks, Saturn walks away, and then meanwhile you do a 50% or 60% combo, and then you pick up Saturn again, and now they can't shield because they get charged up smashed. Nice. Actually, you could probably throw Saturn, pull 3 turnips, see if either of them are Stitches. If not, you just do a regular combo. If you do, you get a Stitch Phase combo. Dot Eyes eventually kills in this game. Side B helps her recovery. It's also safe on shield. Toad helps with edge guarding and recovering. Float fast fall and just her float in general helps her move around platforms. And in this game, every character sucks on platforms because you can't shield drop through them. You can't land on them quickly. Wave landing's too slow. Well, guess what? Peach doesn't give a shit. She just ignores those rules. She's just so amazing. She has combo throws. She has kill throws. Jab is 2 frames, reaches really far. And fucking motherfucking Peach down tilt is so fucking broken. Like, it's safe if spaced on shields against most characters. It low profiles a lot of aerials. 8 frame startup. 8? And it leads to 70% on like basically all characters. And it leads to juggles or another aerial at high percents. Now, the thing is, she can basically parry any aerial into down tilt. Like, very few aerials in this game are better than -5 in at any given situation. Parrying gives +3, which means that, yeah, you can't do shit against it, and it reaches far. So parry a Marth Fair, who she previously had a lot of trouble with, right? Like, sword characters, fuck her. But she just parries you, does 70%, and then she edge guards you, because you can edge guard in this game. And even Marth can't recover properly against turnip edge guards. Turnips, for some reason, send straight. They like semi-spike, just like Chic Fair in Melee. And you can combo turnip off station to falling fair and just destroy people. Yeah, she's ridiculous. Downer, combos, safe on shield. Turnips in general, amazing for like helping her control space. The only real problem she has is that she's kind of slow, and I think some of the projectile characters can give her a hard time in neutral, such as Ivysaur, Richter, and possibly Mewtwo as well as Young Link and Riddle Link. Outside of that, I think she does so well against most characters. And the main reason I would not play Pokemon Trainer would be because I think potentially do even better with Peach. Not that Pokemon Trainer is bad. It's just that Peach has the ceiling, but it's also easier to play. And like, I also have more people to steal shit from. The only thing is I hate how Peach looks. Fucking hate how she sounds. And all the hearts. Oh man, I need some edge, man. I need some edge. But yeah, I think that's my tier list for what I think will eventually be the meta. Not what's good right now, but will eventually be the meta.